you get there, through all the reindeer and everything. Um, when you get out there and you're doing your annual service, let's say everything just goes tip top, right? Everything's fine.
Yep.
Take the boiler apart, clean it, service it, fine. How do you go about checking to see if there's a recall open on that boiler?
We're really doing it. We're back on the air.
We're really doing it. I should have made more coffee.
Oh crap. I have most of a cup of coffee that I made about 20 minutes ago because we've been goofing off here.
Yeah. Same.
We had a month off.
You finally got your voice back.
Well, I've got it. Yeah, I'm like 95%, I think.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
That was a horrendous little. I was starting to get worried. I'm like, am I going to talk like this for the rest of my life?
Yeah. It's like, this is stuck. We're stuck this way.
I was like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4+. Yeah, I was getting pretty annoying. But anyway, nobody wants to hear us talk about that. We got some fan mail. We're always talking about fan mail, guys. And this is why, because we get some messages and we're super thankful. It gives us something to talk about. And honestly, it's just a little variety, right, Andy?
It is. Yeah. Gives us some stuff there. I mean, we got a couple of messages and, like, because we haven't been on a month, thank you everybody that sent in, including my dad.
Yeah.
He posted, so.
Thank you, Mr. Mickelson.
That's right.
Nice to meet you. I'm Eric. Okay.
So anyway, it's kind of fresh, but it's kind of not. And we're going to hear about this for the next
couple years,
5 years.
Yeah, I think you're right.
This is going to be a thing.
Why is it fresh, Andy? Tell everybody what it's about.
Well,
from Kirksville, Missouri, by the way.
Yeah, Kirksville, Missouri wrote in. I'm not sure if this sounds like most likely is a homeowner that's listening to the story or listening to the podcast. Appreciate it. I don't really care. If you're a contractor or not, it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, what do you mean?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't care that you're just a mere homeowner.
Well, I'm saying that it sounds to me like they've hired a heating technician to do some of this. That's why I say that.
Yep. No, I know.
Anyway,
just a lowly homeowner. Go ahead.
Gosh, that's not where I was going with this, but
man, I'm having fun today. I'm sorry.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
So they wrote in and said, hey, on your show, we saw that you guys talked about a triangle tube. And we just found out that in 2020, there was a recall on our triangle tube Challenger. We never got notified. And then during annual service, a technician found a section of the top of the heat exchanger, I guess, where there was a bad spot. Something was messed up, melted is what they're saying. Sounds like let's see, this was in 23. They spent like $900 on parts, right?
Okay.
Which $900 these days, would you buy a fan, an igniter? Like, I don't know. Gaskets, probably, my guess of what they found on that triangle tube Challenger is an aluminum heat exchanger triangle tube. It's not the stainless fire tube.
It's sort of an aluminum heat exchanger. It is aluminum, but it's
weird.
It's
different.
It's like a hybrid type heat exchanger.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I got theories on this, and I'll get into it in a little bit, based off of my knowledge of being in the media industry. It's a hybrid of it's like it's copper. The water's in copper, but the copper's in aluminum.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yep. So anyway, they spent $900 in 23 to fix an issue. The tech sounds like tech tried to go to bat for them with triangle tube. Triangle tube said, no, it's not under warranty. I'm not sure what exactly transpired there, but and then we find out today that it should have been included in the recall. We should have been notified of it and fixed on the company's dime. Not to mention we're worried to even run our unit because it's still having issues and getting extremely hot, hot enough to melt part of the casing. I didn't really get what should we do? What do you think? But because I think that's just the way it is. I've had The first 2 triangle tubes I ever installed in my career were warranty units that were triangle tube solos, I think.
Yeah. Solo was the original model,
Original?
but everybody knows that model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they both had burned out and had fires inside the cabinet.
For you? That you encountered?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I never heard these stories.
Yeah. I mean, the first one was probably 15 years ago. And then the second one was shortly thereafter.
I think I have a different experience with triangle tube than you might expect, but keep going.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt.
We didn't have a lot here. I mean, there's a handful, right? They're around.
That's right. You didn't have a ton of them.
No.
That's what it was. That's why you were kind of interested at first at the idea of installing them, because you had less competition versus other boilers in the market, right?
Well, and it was something new. It was like, for me. Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, both of those boilers that we had where they had the fire in them, they warranted both of them. It was just like, oh yeah, no, we'll take care of that.
It was a different world back then, I think.
Yeah.
For a triangle tube.
Right. And so
it's not funny. I don't know why I think it's funny.
Yeah. It's fun. It's just interesting, that we see that. And so, I mean, I guess to put a little bit of, explanation into probably more than likely what happened in your case
for this Challenger,
that that Missouri's talking about here, is that, and I've come across this a handful of times talking with people.
Okay.
If I am my stance on it, if I am working with a warranty issue on a boiler for a customer, I don't go to my local sales chain at all, right? Like those guys immediately get X'd out of this because I'm dealing with a component issue. They don't have the jurisdiction, I guess. They don't have the authorization to approve anything, really, right? Like at my local rep or my sales guys at the counter. I mean, they're not gonna have any ability to say, yeah, that's under warranty or that's not, right? First year, sure, maybe, but I'm going to have better results at getting paid and getting parts covered under warranty by going directly to the manufacturer. And I'm not sure, like say, I guess I'd be interested to see if your tech in 23 was going to his local rep support for this issue, and then maybe somebody was like, oh yeah, no, we don't think the Challenger's covered under that warranty. Right. And then so they're poop, there it is. Part of that comes back to, as well, like the we weren't notified. That's a tough thing, but most likely your boiler was never registered. So they don't have any way of knowing that you have this boiler, right? That you're the one that has it, or here's your contact info. So that's a little challenging. I don't know, Eric, when you're out servicing a boiler, let's say you get, Jimmy Bob calls you and says, hey, I've got I've got this triangle tube boiler in my shop. Right.
Yeah.
And I need you to come out and do annual service on it.
I get these calls all the time. Right? So do you.
Yeah. How do you, so you drive out to Jimmy Bob's house or shop, not his house.
I don't know that anybody in Minnesota is named Jimmy Bob, but anyway.
Okay.
Sven. Their name is
Sven and Oli.
Yes.
Okay. So you drive out to Sven's house and, you get there, through all the reindeer and everything. When you get out there and you're doing your annual service, let's say everything just goes tip top, right? Everything's fine.
Yep.
Take the boiler apart, clean it, service it, fine. How do you go about checking to see if there's a recall open on that boiler?
That's a great question. So, I'm going to be honest and say that I don't typically.
Okay. Me too. We do a quick Google search. That's it. That's all I don't know any better way.
I don't know that I, in recent history, have checked to see if a boiler was recalled. I'm not going to pretend that I.
So I have
now I have a little tightness in my chest and some anxiety going on.
Right?
That was so fast. Holy crap. I feel like crap right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's something that we started doing, and
Okay.
that's on this same thing because I had the same question. I don't remember what the deal was. So some customer I was with called me and said, "Hey, there's this recall on my boiler. Do you
And
know
you're
anything
like, there
about it?" And I'm
is?
like, "What? We serviced like 100 of those."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it kind of came back down to that thing, like, well, how do we check for this? I don't know. I mean, so some of the manufacturers have a place on their website. All of the manufacturers have a place on their website that's not easy to find.
Yeah. I
Right?
think there's
So,
some like what's the governmental agency that like pushes this, right? Consumer
consumer safety
protection.
protection safety
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
CPSC.
Yeah. Whatever that agency is, and can you trust them? I mean, they're the government. But the
Well, yeah,
yeah, there's the voluntary recalls, there's the
yeah,
mandatory recalls, there's all kinds of different levels and how and litigation by the time they get to those points from one to another. That's the extent of my knowledge on it. I don't know any more than that. It's all conjecture, I think
right,
is the correct term for that. But the I don't check for it. I'll be honest with you. Now I do like there's been times in history where it's been top of mind and I am checking, but it's like it's been brought to my attention. And then all of a sudden somebody calls and says like hey, I have this Viessmann boiler that was installed. It's a 200 series and it was installed in 2018 and I go,
right,
that was the time frame which I did know and was made aware of by the manufacturer and my local rep that there was a problem with a specific allotment of boilers. These serial numbers, there's a function on their Viessmann's website. You can go in and you can literally type in the serial
yep,
number. It'll tell you yay or nay, right?
yep,
That's honestly, I mean, this has happened to me, I guess, a couple times over the last, let's say 15, 20 years. Beyond that, I'm going back to what I said 5 minutes ago. I'm not actively checking and I feel as if that needs a change.
yeah,
It's done as soon as I leave the shop today. I need to keep that top of mind. It needs to get put into my workflow, my checklist. That's what I'm going to have to do.
yeah,
I'm going to have to put it on my checklist inside a house called Pro. So I'm like, I have to check the box, right?
yeah,
I mean, it's up to me if I do it, but I have to check the box saying I
yeah.
checked to see if there's a recall.
So I am currently just on the Consumer Product Safety Commission website, right? And so I just like go to the recall section, went into search. And so, I mean, here's what I would think is the most logical reason, right? I type in triangle tube boiler
Yeah.
and I put a date, January 1st of 2020 and the next date of today. And the first thing that comes up is an electric e-bike. There's another e-bike, bicycle pump, tire pump, a steel backpack blower, some sort of wheel, and then we get to an IBC combi boiler recalled due to burn hazard.
So that, okay. Remember
Right?
when I said I know a little bit about that boiler and maybe,
Yeah.
so that heat exchanger is made by the company who was bought by Rheem.
Okay.
I think they were called Intergas, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. I believe they're a company in the Netherlands.
Okay.
I could be wrong there too. This is all secondhand.
Yeah.
Listening. Intergas made boilers called IBC.
Yeah.
I think that stood for Intergas Boiler Company or International Boiler.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, IBC was not at one time, and if you didn't know it, owned by Rheem as it is now. I also understand that to be true that heat exchanger for the triangle tube Challenger is the same as the heat exchanger that's in the IBC. I think it's like an H model, HFH, something boiler. I see it periodically in my market because IBC has made a pretty good run in sales here in the Twin Cities and central Minnesota area. So you'd bring up that recall that says IBC or was say IBC?
Yeah, it was IBC. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Challenger recall then, right?
Right. It's interesting. So I went in and just got rid of boiler and put triangle tube Challenger, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm a triangle tube boiler owner,
Yeah.
right, and I see a recall for IBC, I'm not looking at that one.
Yeah, because
100% not, because I don't know
it
that
doesn't
they're
say triangle
associated.
tube.
Right.
Yeah. Why would you look at IBC?
So,
You don't know what that is.
So, in typical U.S. government fashion, I added Challenger to it and deleted boiler, and it says, be right back, our website's undergoing maintenance.
They're like, oh, they found us.
Rats.
Crap. What are we going to
Yeah.
tell these people?
So apparently that doesn't work. So, I mean, here's a prime example, right? This isn't an easy thing to do. When you're paying me $100 or $200 an hour, the last thing you're interested for me doing is to sit in your mechanical room and fiddle around with Google Chrome to see if there's a recall on this boiler.
Yeah, on my phone.
On my phone, right? It's stupid. Now, that said, I mean, what's the solution? I don't know. I mean, I guess I could just do a triangle tube. Let's just try that. See what the web search comes up with.
I think we do have an obligation now that
now that look called it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to me. Listen to me. I think we have an obligation to our customers to check on. No, but I guess, I mean, it's not as if you're going to take the boiler off the wall that minute. It was running before you got there. It's running right now. Is there a recall on and it's safety purposes? Once we find that out, we'll take care of it. But in the meantime, I guess you can go have the office start looking for it, or you can do it when you get back at the end of the day kind of deal, right? Like,
And so this is what spawned this whole thing is Viessmann's had a couple of recalls, none on this new series that I'm aware of. All of them were like the 222, the B2TAs and the B2TBs had heat exchanger recalls.
I believe those were also voluntary by Viessmann themselves,
and they paid both ways to take care of that. And I will say this, it is the way that Viessmann handled that matter. I had no customers that I directly installed that boiler for, right?
Yeah.
I had 4 customers that I eventually came across that had those B2TA heat exchangers that had a leak, or that they were the B2 HAs that had issues. I had 4 of them. Viessmann paid me almost $10,000 towards my labor bills to replace those heat exchangers. Not one single boiler manufacturer in 30 years has paid me labor to replace recall parts in its entirety, right? Like the most recent Lochinvar one, the flue sensor gasket, the little O-ring and the little air pressure switch tubing. I mean, it's $125. Does it cover most of my costs? Sure, it does. Yeah, I appreciate that. I have never had anybody go, hey, well, we don't really care what it's going to cost you. We're going to give you $1,500 to change that heat exchanger.
Right.
That's a day's labor. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, and we're left holding the bag. The customer is left holding the bag with all the other manufacturers because labor isn't going to be covered. Unless, I mean, maybe you can get labor on something that's like just months old. But
well, and I think that's part of what killed killed triangle tube in the U.S., is my opinion. I mean, they had a recall out on essentially every single boiler they manufactured prior to the current model. I mean, that if you look at that recall range where they had the condensate drain adapter, the new igniter, the new burner gaskets, a new control board. Did you do any of those recalls?
No.
I did one, and the customer said, "Oh yeah, my plumber's the guy that's going to do it." We went down and did it. It was like a 4-hour long recall, right? Like gut the heat exchanger. Take everything apart, take this apart, drill holes here, redo this, verify this, replace the inlet and the outlet flue adapters. And we get all done with it. And they're like, oh, we're going to give you $225 or whatever it was. I don't remember. It was not enough to cover my costs. And I get that there's some association that you should be able to pay half, but if I'm not covering my costs, I'm not interested in taking care of your warranty issue.
It's not you installed the product they said was safe from the start.
Yeah. And in these cases, I didn't even install them.
Right. But I'm just follow them,
right.
the order of operations.
Yes.
You bought a product that met the standards
Yeah, had
that
been
are
tested.
that had been tested, and that our country enforces to have, these set of standards you have to meet in order for you to sell this product in the U.S.
Yes.
market. And you are protected at that point. That's the whole CPSC thing, right? Consumer Safety Protection, whatever. So I can't get it out of my head. Like the whole idea that they don't pay for these parts swaps and stuff like that. I get why they don't. I mean, I understand why they're trying not to, because it's expensive.
Right. But tough. Who cares?
How do they think it's okay to pass that expense along to the owner? I don't get that.
Right. Well, and I think that's where our, the individual that wrote in, I think that's where their frustration's at, is they coughed up $900, come to find out it's covered under a recall. But, I mean, you could call Triangle Tube now and say, hey, send me the recall kit, right? Go through the motions, get the recall kit. However,
do they have the support now though that they're closed down?
The recall kit is required to remain open. That's the only piece of Triangle Tube that is still in operation.
So I wonder if that Challenger has that.
I don't know. It's I mean, clearly different than the Solo that I did or the Prestige that I did, but I don't know what the recall was on the Triangle Tube directly, if it was gaskets or a flue sensor or what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was carbon monoxide leak ultimately, if I recall.
Because of that flue gasket adapter kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're not the only manufacturer with this kind of problem. Triangle Tubes is way bigger scale, obviously. It shut the company down. But there's other great manufacturers. I say great because honestly, a lot of these, they're mostly pretty darn good.
Yes.
There's some major players out there that have their own sets of problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unique to Triangle Tube.
No.
It's not maybe as big.
Right. And I can say right off the top of my head, I don't know of any other manufacturer that has been accused of a fatality in relation to the recall.
Triangle Tubes did though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Triangle Tube, Quiet Side did, if you remember Quiet Side.
Yes.
That was another one. I mean, there's been a handful, right? Not luckily, not many, because we do test. But ultimately, I guess to the writer that's writing in, if you're not comfortable with it, I mean, nobody at Triangle Tube's going to fix that for you.
No.
And I apologize for that because I mean, it sucks. And we're going to have this conversation a lot for the next 5 to 10 years, because we're going to find these boilers that there's no support for it. There's no parts, when the control is not working properly, right? I mean, you and I have talked about this a dozen times now. When something is going on and it's a controls related issue, now what are you going to do? You're going to turn to, heatinghelp.com. It's a huge resource. I appreciate that it's there, but that's not going to be an immediate source of relief, to diagnose some goofy fan speed issue.
It's really tough. It's a hard line to walk as a contractor giving advice to a homeowner.
Yeah.
What I want to tell my customers, my friends, these people that I rely on to, make my living.
Yeah.
What I want to tell them is an honest from the heart. If you can afford replacing your boiler, that no matter how old it is, because it's basically not supported any longer, if you can afford to replace that piece of equipment, and hopefully it doesn't cause a whole lot of, it doesn't windfall on a lot of other things that need to be done inside that mechanical space. But if you can just replace that one, the appliance itself, basically cut it out, replace as direct as possible. That's where I would hope people can find themselves as the owner, that would be that's my advice. Yep. I don't know. I know this writer wasn't asking about that. Like, what's your thought on
right?
Like, honestly, that's what I'm going to tell people. And that's what I decided to tell people when we found out just a month and a half ago, 2 months ago about this recall.
Right.
I'm moving forward saying, hey, I can most likely keep your boiler running in tip-top shape. And that's what I want to get to real quick before we end about my experience with Triangle Tube. but the likelihood that it will have a failure that requires support and parts is high.
Mm-hmm.
High meaning it's going to happen at some
Right.
point. I just can't say when.
Yep.
But it's going to happen. Let's say in the next 5 years, it's going to happen. Probably in the next 2 years. If your boiler's like 10 years old, I'm going to say for sure it's going to happen in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So if that means just saying, hey, let's start budgeting for it, meaning like every month you've got to put away a couple $100 or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is for your particular household. That's my advice. I agree with you. Go to the manufacturer right now if it's a recall situation, because you're supposed to be protected under that. They're supposed to be supporting on the back end of that. See what happens. See where that brings you. I don't know where it's going to bring you. Do you have any idea, Andy? Like, are they going to?
I have not tried it. I mean, I do know that if we go to the Triangle Tube website, their website still exists. There's a big note about, hey, we're no longer in business. Yeah. It's not as big and noteworthy as I was like expecting. But anyway, there is right as the landing page basically takes you directly to the product recall.
Okay.
For 2025. And it basically, it goes through, boilers that were manufactured between 2011 and 2019.
Can you imagine how many of boilers there are?
I mean, that's only 8 years.
Thousands of units a year.
So, if you're a homeowner section, if you're an installer section, go down through there, take a look at this. Don't take it for granted. Ultimately, if there's a recall that's out on your boiler, have it done if you're going to continue using it. If you're going to replace it, whatever, throw the thing in the dumpster. It's
weird because people will immediately go after like that. They get a postcard from Toyota and Toyota says, hey, we got to fix your, battery mount. That was actually one of them recently. I know because we're a Toyota family and we get them. Your battery mount might cause your battery to tumble over under certain driving conditions, like come unloose and
jumped and drove into a barrow ditch and.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Toyota owners, not Nissan.
Okay.
No, but like people do that. Like they,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think most people I talk to, you hear people talk about, oh yeah, we got to bring the car in. We have a recall on it. Like,
yeah.
I think people act on that. And the reason I bring it up, and maybe it's a terrible comparison because I don't really know the stats behind it, but the fact of the matter is it's ignored when it's like just something that hangs on the wall in your basement. You're like, oh, I'll get to that. And then,
right. Well, and I, like I mentioned earlier too, I think part of it is that a lot of this equipment largely goes unregistered. It's not your car. I mean, my understanding of vehicles is the auto manufacturer can go back to state registrations and queue up who's the owner of this VIN number.
Yeah, we don't have a system like that. I know like the UK has registration like in a database for all their inspection safety purposes. Like we don't have that with the appliances. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm not like big on government oversight kind of, but like having a database would be, I think, a layer of protection or service to the general populace, really.
Right. Well, and it kind of goes back to, I mean, for my entire career, I've never registered stuff, right? Unless there was some incentive to do it, like register this boiler and you get a $25 gift card. Great. I'm on it. Otherwise, it's like furnace registrations, things like that. I was like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I can just go back to my manufacturer, my vendor and take care of warranty. They can show when I bought this. Well, now if you look at almost every product, like serialized products, furnaces, boilers, water heaters, not so much, but like tankless for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't register it, your warranty's like, let's say it's 2 years on the parts and 10 years on the heat exchanger. If you register it, it's now 5 years parts, 10 years or 15 years. Like they extend the warranties because you registered it. And, you got to do that within 60 days. And so if you're acquiring new equipment, jump on the website and register the dang thing. Right?
Well,
as a homeowner, as a contractor.
Yeah.
We really should be doing that.
I leave the registration, like if it's something like a tank water heater or something that doesn't have like a app that I'm already like connecting to the internet and that kind of, if it's not that kind of system, I leave that out and I say to my customer, here, I need you to fill this out and send it in. I don't have any control over whether they do or don't. I don't have any idea whether they do or don't.
But I think people have become so desensitized. I mean, there was a period of time, and you and I went through this 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Every single thing you bought had a send me your data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember that?
Well, they were trying
to buy a VCR, a CD player. VCR. I haven't bought a VCR in 25 years.
I don't think I've ever bought a VCR.
Maybe I don't know if I have either. I don't know why that came up.
I thought VCRs were just free when we were like 20.
Well,
like, didn't our parents just give us one or something?
Parents bought a new one.
I think it just came with my house or something.
Right. It was stuck in the wall. Yeah. But you buy a new electronic, you buy a blender, right? And you open up the blender and here's this like 11-page double-sided postcard thing that was like, what age demographic are you in? I think
you're right.
41 years old. Why do you need to know that for my blender?
They still do that.
Yeah.
But they've masked it and changed it and they've got savvy with it, and the internet, like you said, we're desensitized to it. So no, people aren't paying attention to it, but like I have this, we got to end this conversation soon. It's taking a turn, but I'm going to leave everybody with this. Okay. Yeah. So we bought an LG refrigerator.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. It's really nice. Don't come at me with what is good and not good in your appliances. I have had nothing but great experiences with appliances in my house, and it's always when people say, "Don't buy this," I'm like, "We've had one for 15 years and it's great." Like trust me. I don't. That whole argument's it's just like herd mentality. Okay. We get this. It is on topic. Let me finish this. we get this LG refrigerator, and of course it connects to the internet.
Yeah.
Gosh. And I just, by choice, I decided to go through the motions of that because it was clear to me that it was a warranty registration process.
Sure.
So I did it. I downloaded the app. Yep. I'm like, yep, I own this. Here you go. And here comes the marketing. Right. Mm-hmm. And that was my point, is they do it now in different ways, but they try to mask it with, like you were saying, incentives are what going to get us as contractors to do it.
Right.
You know why I did it? Literally because I could like see what you could do with a refrigerator connected to an app. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I was like, wow, I could see how many times the door's been open. Who gives a crap? But anyway, I could do it, and I'd never done it before, so I did it.
Right.
And then you could name it. I'm like, what could I name my refrigerator? Sir Chills-a-Lot? Like I could do anything I wanted with it. And I can't remember what my refrigerator's name is, but point is I could also then do it to my new LG washer and dryer that I bought that has like AI built in, all this bullshit I don't need. And now my dryer or my washer, Taylor Spin, and my dryer, Dryonce, tell me with the app when laundry is done. Okay, now this whole warranty process actually incentivized me to get warranty coverage by registering the appliance in my home. I believe personally, all that does is give them license to market to you.
Yep.
I don't believe that. I say this, I have not used it for warranty purposes. So then I'm also not a skeptic, but I'm also of the belief that it doesn't do me any good until I actually might need it. And by then it's not going to be under warranty coverage anyway. So I do like that I know when my laundry needs to be moved from one machine to the other. Now I'm just waiting for machines that just do it. Like I just need a machine that does it all in one, but I like that function. And it all started by the warranty registration. Triangle tube, real quick before we go. Yeah. I've not had historically, and I have worked on and touched, not sensually. I have put my hands on more than a few dozen triangle tubes, because my market in the Twin Cities exploded in the early 2000s while ModCon boilers were coming into the commonplace. Triangle Tube did very well with their sales. Sure. Midwest Sales, the rep for Triangle Tube at the time, I believe right up to the end. Midwest, maybe not. Maybe they were just for early on. Midwest Sales, my friends, Andy Schilt, he listens to the podcast. Yeah. Great guy. that whole group, they rep group, they're based out of Wisconsin. I think they have an office here in Minnesota. They represented Triangle Tube early on. They were a resource for me for when it came time to get, some problem solving or get product if I couldn't get it off the shelf, that kind of thing. And
Sure.
never had any issues. I saw these boilers as early models especially, as somehow kind of like the John Deere tractor mod con boilers. Like these things just somehow ran. Yeah. And you get there and there'd be like things going wrong. You're like, this part needs and this part. And you're like, holy crap, how is this still running? Yeah. And they just did. It was always in those conditions, I was always surprised. And the reason why I stress that is I always felt that for a long time, their product line, I installed them early in my self-employment, but I felt that their product was pretty solid early on. I felt like it was well made. It was pretty resilient. It seemed to be able to take a lot of years of service without any care. Like nobody was looking after these things. They just kind of made hot water and hung on the wall until they didn't. You know what I mean?
I do think that a big benefit, and just because I don't want to downplay the registration part of it, in addition to the marketing, which I think ultimately that should be restricted, right? I mean, because you're basically allowing manufacturers to say under the guise of registration, we're gonna just spam the crap out of you for everything. But we had I don't remember what it was, Ninja air fryer or something. I don't remember. It wasn't Ninja 4 or 5 years ago. And for whatever reason, we had registered. I don't know if it was connected to the internet or what the deal was, but bought this thing. We used it for, I don't know, probably a couple of years. And then we got a letter in the mail from them. Said, hey, here's $100, $100 voucher.
You got to replace it.
Cut the cord off of it. Send us a picture. And we'll activate this $100 e-card, e-Visa card. Sorry, it's not safe.
You're like, hell yeah.
Right.
You're like, I should have unplugged it.
Right. But it was cut
the cord.
Right. It was a fire hazard, thing, and so I think that's, like on appliances, we had a recall on our dishwasher. I don't remember what the deal was, door seal or something like that. But had it not been registered, they wouldn't have known we had it.
Yeah. There is incentive to register this stuff. We do it automatically. You and I, your guys, when we hang that boiler on the wall and then we connect it to the internet. So we can get the functionality and the like the monitoring functionality from a contractor standpoint. We can be connected to these boilers. We can get notifications when there's stuff that goes wrong. All of that inherently goes through and automatically is registering that boiler product in the customer's name based off their address, the info that we input into it, that kind of thing. They have to create an account and stuff for this all to work properly. That's a registration right there. Right there. So we're not, nobody's filling out a card or anything. It's just kind of but we've found value, you and I and our customers. I mean, more importantly, our customers have found value in this technology, this connectivity, all this kind of stuff. And it was a warranty thing, I guess. Yeah. All right. So I think God, did we nail that again or what?
I mean, just, cold turkey after a month off.
It's like we've been doing this for 369 episodes.
Holy cow.
I think that's what we're on right now.
Something like that.
Wouldn't it be cool if it were 369, bro? All right. I'm going to end it.
Okay.
But before I end it, I got to remind everybody, hit us up in the link below in the podcast description in your app there. There's a link. You can text us. That's how we got this message, is it was texted to us. It opens up a link. You can send us a message. We don't know who you are. If you want to sign your name to it, that's great. We'd love for that much, because we can't text you back or anything like that. But
yeah. Well, that's it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're off. See ya.